All right, so we got K Grammi in the building, bro.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you pulling up, man, for sure. Like
Definitely, man. You
that's
know.
love, for sure, man. So fresh off of the release of Samhain too, man. So
Oh, man.
yeah, so before we know we're gonna get into that, like just talk a little bit about like how you got your start, into film and like where you come from, what your city was like.
Well, filmmaking and acting period was always my passion. I used to watch movies with my grandmother growing up, and it was just like we used to watch scary movies, so it was just like a little thing. I was watching Michael Myers from she had all the Friday the 13th, so it's a thing I did with me and my grandmother. So from there, I just always just wanted to be in a movie. So I just decided to make my own, which was like it was crazy because at first I was paying somebody else to make my movie for me, but it was like their vision and everything wasn't like mine. So I decided to take matters into my own hands and do it myself.
So like did you feel like you got to that point where you was like, oh, this is something I want to do like full time, like legitimately?
It got something to do for a time when I felt as though it's like when I was editing my own stuff, when I was filming my own stuff, when I was just basically on set of everything. It was just like, this is where I want to be, this is me. So it's like I felt comfortable there, something that I know how to do and I'm going to still learn how to do while I'm growing. So I just always wanted to do it. So I'm like, this is me. It felt right.
How you feel like being from DC? How you feel like DC helped like kind of shape you and your career and like your aspirations of what you want to do?
Being from the city helped me because my city put me through a lot in a good way and in a bad way. So it's like my city made me who I am today. Like as far as just like trials and tribulations. So I feed off of pain and anger sometimes. So it's like pain and anger drives me to do better things in my life.
How do you feel like your background played in like the movies that you write and make?
My background played a part for my movie because well, it was just like the character I played. I was supposed to play the villain in there, but we had casting issues, so I ended up playing another character. But my background helped me a lot through my movies because it pushed me. It pushed me to do way better than what I was doing before. So yeah.
So you do music too. Like how did you start doing music?
But we started a group. That's how I got the name K Grammi. A lot of people think K Grammi came from a comedy, but actually we started a group called the Grammy Boys back in like 2016. So they used to call me KO back in the day. So it was just like I just dropped the O. It's like man, I'm gonna call K Grammy, or we got the Grammy Boys. So I just started with me. Music is like a passion of mine, but it's also my therapy. I feel as though I put everything in my music, wherever I was going through it, my pain, my anger, my happiness, like my joy, everything is just in my music for it. It's just really telling the story if you listen to it.
How hard is it to like balance like doing music and like filmmaking?
It's not that hard. I wouldn't say because literally once I'm in the studio, I'm locked in. Once I'm on set and I'm directing, I'm locked in. So it's like either both of them like a source of entertainment. So I just use both of them as my platform.
Do you feel like you like fully focused in on doing movies now, or is the music still something like you kind of do on the side too, or is it like
I think I'm fully focused on movies, but music, I might drop another tape this year, 2025.
when did you like kind of get to that point where it's like you leaning towards doing film more than music?
It was actually this year when I had got an AOC Trophies Entertainment, I had branded my business, and it was just like I let time pass and pass without me taking anything serious. So I'm just like I was freestyling, so it was just like when I seen me make my first movie and I see myself actually on a big screen, it was just like it did something to me. So it was just like this is what I want to do. So I just went hard on it.
What was so like obviously with your newest film, Samhain? What was like the inspiration behind that film?
The inspiration behind Sam Hain was that for one, I love horror movies. For two, I wanted to be different in the city. I didn't want to make too much of an urban thing like a lot of people out here doing. I wanted to be different. Like it's not a lot of people from Southeast making scary movies or just suspenseful movies or thrillers anyway. So I wanted to stand out. Everything I do, I like to stand out and be different. I don't like to be the same as nobody. I like to have my own way of life.
How was it? Well, first, how was like the casting for the movie? What was that process like?
Casting was kind of hard. It was my first film, and you got to have people that believe in you, obviously. So literally, like we had two sets of cast. Like we literally shot this film in 2023. We started filming in 2023, but it was some production issues with the person, like I said before, about the cameraman and stuff like that. So it was just like one of them things was, I'm about to learn this stuff myself, and we just gonna rock out. So yeah.
What was it like, kind of seeing that movie get performed in theaters? Like you had a whole premiere and everything.
Man, it was crazy. Me being from Southeast, me never having nothing. I literally made this movie from nothing and literally went through everything making it. To see that on a big screen, it was like everything was worth it.
What was some of your like challenges making that movie?
Challenges making that movie was time consuming, um, personal issues. Like I was flat broke. Like I was out down on my ass. Like literally no help, no nothing. Like I was literally, man, moving house to house. Like I ain't had nothing making this movie. So it was just like that alone right there, a person would have gave up. But I believed in my movie. I believed in my cast. My cast believed in me. So it was just like at the end of the day, like everything I did was worth it. I had to go harder. And it was just like that just motivated me to make a masterpiece like I made in Samhain.
How satisfying was it, to see like all the, challenges that you went through and now you was able to complete it and see it on the big screen? Like how satisfying was that like overall feeling?
It was very satisfying. Like it's still like a dream come true for us. Like I really had a movie played in theaters, like that's gonna be on a streaming platform in another 2 to 3 months. So it's just like why stop there? It's like I believe in God, so it's like God put me through everything I went through to show me that it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be a walk in the park for anybody that's out there, for anybody that's trying to chase their dreams. It's never gonna be easy. But it's just all about you. Keep going. You can't give up. No matter how bad you want to, no matter how bad life throws rocks at you, you gotta pick it up and keep moving.
What is it like, having, knowing that it's gonna be on streaming services, like, it's gonna be on Tubi and other streaming services, like how do you go about getting a movie on those services?
Where I actually had got a distribution deal, so it was grateful. Thank God for that. I mean, shout out to Polo too, man. Polo, he's another director from the city. Like when I say he is not one of them directors that keep everything to himself. Like he want people to win. He really wants me to win. Like he see where I'm coming from. He know my background, so it's like for me to step in this world of filmmaking and being a director and everything, it's like it's different for him because he's saying like a little brother or a young one trying to come up. So it's just like Polo gave me half the resources I got now.
What do you want the audience or the viewers to take away from Samhain when they see it?
I want the viewers to take away that it's talent in my city, in DC, and that I was a first time filmmaker making the film, so don't never let someone tell you you can't do something. If you believe in it, go for it full fledged. I literally made this movie from nothing, and it was a great outcome. So I want anybody that's out there watching the movie, that will see the movie, to understand that it's okay to go through things. It's okay. But you just got to keep going. Don't give up.
So obviously you got, your upcoming project, The City, coming out,
Yeah.
and obviously not trying to, reveal too much or anything like that. What was the process like, coming up with The City, and like what's the background behind that?
The city was basically, I wanted to come up with something right after the movie because I didn't want people just to see the movie and to be like, what's next? I want to come out with projects back to back. So the city is based off of DMV related stories, drama, love, money, just everything about the city, man. It's our city. So it's just like basically I'm just going off of that. It will be a series on YouTube that people can go on YouTube and check out. We just had a casting call earlier today, and it's set to air on YouTube about mid-January 2025.
And so speaking of like casting call, like obviously, you learn from, the casting call experience of your first movie. Is there anything like you're doing differently during this casting call? Like anything you learned from the last time that you're gonna, apply this
Yeah,
time?
it's like a lot of people seen the movie, so it's like we have more people for the casting call for this film. So it's like what I'm doing different is like taking it more serious, letting the people know like, hey, like we casting you for this, but I need you to be like, I give them the tones of the characters, I give them like the moves of the characters, because I want basically when you come in here, I want you to be able to grow and learn and present at the same time.
How do you choose the actors like to like that fit your vision for films?
So we had scripts today. I had scripts from certain scenes of the series that it was already written, and I had them read off it. It really wasn't like a read. I tell my cast members all the time, like, just because it's words on the paper doesn't mean you guys have to just read it. I want you to become that character, get into that character, so that way when you bring it to the screen, it's gonna look like that's naturally you. So I look for the most natural things in those characters and those casts.
Do you go off of like people who like have experience, or is it like are you open to like
I'm
helping out
open
people
to
that?
everything. I feel as though, because I was coachable myself, and I'm still coachable going through this thing. So I'm not really looking for experienced people. Like the villain that I had in my last one, shout out to Rob Hollywood. I had to coach him literally through everything that I did as he was becoming a villain. So I don't mind working with people, like, because I would want someone to work with me. So it's like, as long as I know they can be coachable, they can work, and they can get better, then they have a job with me.
What's the most like exciting part for you about starting a new film, like the whole new film process?
Exciting part is new cast, new faces. You know what I'm saying? It just gets fresh. Um, you have a new storyline, so it's not like the same thing. You get to switch it up. You don't really have to stay in the same genre. Last time I did like suspense, thriller, horror. So now we're doing like drama, reality. So it's like it's kind of cool.
And what's like your whole creative process like when it comes to like coming up with a script, plot, characters, and all of that? Like, what's that
Um,
process like?
that process is kind of easy because I live in my head, man. So it's like once I just start typing and I just keep going after that. So it's just like I have a lot of stories that I can tell. So it's like I just put that all down on paper and try to add some up to date experiences and go from there.
How do you feel like as far as like being realistic with your movies, but also like having the creativity as well? Like, how do you balance have realism and creativity in your
I
films?
balance it out by trying to be versatile. So if I write a scary movie, I want the scary movie to be based off up to date events. You know, I wouldn't try to put something in a movie that I know wouldn't fit a person's everyday life. You know, I would try to let the audience relate to it. So when they go home, they're like, "Hey, man, this like look like something off of Samhain." So so try to make it more realistic than fiction.
What's been probably your most challenging part of your filmmaking career?
The support, and I mean support as in a lot of people gave up on me. A lot of people really didn't believe that I can't do this, even myself included. I didn't believe I can do this. So it's all about support in yourself. I was looking for outside support for people to come in, like, hey, I want you to do this. I can't look for that. If I have a vision, if I have a dream, I have to go for it. I can't worry about who's going to be there because when it blow up, the support is always going to be there at the top. You can't worry about who's there at the bottom. You just got to keep going.
How did you feel at first? Because I'm sure at first you was thinking and hoping that you would get a lot of support, and not getting that support at first. How did that like make you feel? Was it like a
Um,
letdown?
it was disappointing because I'm to where as though I support people wholeheartedly, and it's like not even sometimes. I really don't look for people to return the favor. Like I will go to an event and don't expect you to be at my event. Like this is just me. I would give people money and don't expect for money back. Like it's kind of a letdown, but I got to learn that it's going to be letdowns in this business. So just keep going, man. That's the number one thing. Praise God, pray, and keep going.
What's like the I guess what's like kind of like the financial process like as far as like putting a movie together? Because obviously you gotta have some money behind films
Yeah,
that you make.
definitely. So with movies, you have to have faith. That's like the number one thing. You got to have people and actors like that believe in you. As far as equipment, yes, equipment costs. Everybody knows that. And just like you got to be able to make sacrifices to get what you want.
What kind of sacrifices did you have to make as far as like making films?
I had to sacrifice less time at home. I had to sacrifice being in uncomfortable predicaments because of my movie. I had to sacrifice literally just everything for it to be what it is today.
Do you feel like those sacrifices was worth it?
Of course, definitely. And if the shoe was on the other foot, I would do everything all over again because like life is not all about how you make other people feel. It's all about how you feel. And I'm learning that now.
So with the release of Sam Hain, talk about the reception that it got. Whether it be positive or negative. Like, what was the reception like?
Oh man, people loved it. Like people actually loved the movie, and it was like shocking, like to hear some of the people like say the things that they were saying, like, "Oh, hey man, like it's really different. Your quality was good. The actors were great." And really, I think except for two maybe actors, my whole cast was just their first time acting, and a lot of people did not know it.
How proud of you were you of the actors? You know that they was that good that people didn't even notice that it was their
I'm
first time.
very proud of my cast. Those guys and girls came, conquered, and delivered. So I'm so proud of my cast. And it was actually kind of sad our last day of shooting because it was just like, we all got to part ways. But I wish every last one of them the best on their journey, and I know they're going to kill it. Literally every last one of them. I'm so proud of my cast.
So obviously, you said it was a very well received film. Kind of on the flip side, how do you like handle like criticism or whether it be like negative feedback from like films or any projects that you put out?
Of course, being from Southeast, I had a lot of people, oh, he's making a vampire movie. And it was just like, so being from a kid from DC, it's just like it's always controversy. But it's just like, people talk about me every day, man. It's just, I live with it, I go through it. It's literally nothing to me.
What keeps you motivated like throughout the ups and downs or because challenges of filmmaking?
Keeps me motivated is knowing I came from nothing, so I really can't lose nothing. I have nothing to lose. It's either all or nothing for me.
So kind of like touching on the collaboration process. You obviously are good friends with like Ant Glizzy. Like, so how did you meet him and like how did y'all relationship come about?
Me and Ant Glizzy, we mutual friends. His little brother used to be around my way, and it's just like, man, when I was growing up, like Ant Glizzy was my favorite rapper. Like all the little Glizzy gang shit was going on. It was like Ant Glizzy was like my favorite rapper out of all of them. So I used to listen to Ant, but I had went in when Ant was blowing up. So I came home about 2015, and it was just like I seen Ant. That's crazy because like I seen Ant in the club. I'm like, what's up, man? All that we just rapping, but I know his little brother, so it's just like it's cool. Then it's just like we just get the networking and just I think I did a feature with him. I paid my money. Like I paid for a feature. It was like 2015 when I first came home. I did 30 months, paid for a feature. And it was like the vibe in the studio. It was like it was all love for real because it was just like we was already mutual, and it was just like yeah, everything we just did. We just been cool ever since.
What is those collaborations like? Working with him.
Working with him, it's always unpredictable with Ant, man. Just it's Ant being Ant, but it's always unpredictable. But working with him is definitely like one of those days where it's though you're gonna get stuff done and y'all gonna make a banger. So
Can you talk like a little bit about your involvement in Money Hungry
yeah.
with Goofies?
Yeah, with Goofy. So we had did the short film. Goofy's, shout out to Goofy for making the film. Him and Lene for having me for that project. That was a dope project. Before my movie, that was actually my first on-screen behind the camera like acting role. So it was just like I was glad to co-star in that. We had 3 Black. We had a lot of people in there. So that project was definitely probably one of the best I did.
And obviously, that came out. You had Samhain too. Do you feel like you starting to get a lot of motion and traction now, like with just whether it be films that you created or just your on screen appearances?
Yes, because ever since those 2 films, I have been getting a lot of feedback and just like a lot of acting calls. Like talent agencies hit me up, so just like that's the birth of filmmaking for me
Who do you feel like has been your biggest supporter throughout your entire career?
throughout my entire
Or
career.
if it's not just one, like who in general?
I would say God, man. Like, it's no offense to anybody else that's out there that's been supporting me, but God is the only person that really picked me up when I was down, really walked through every situation I ever been in. Like, people flip, they flop. So it's just like, I love every last one of them that did. I don't wish nothing bad. I still love people who don't love me. So, with that being said, God has been my biggest supporter because I never had nobody. Like, I never had nothing or no one to lean on. I always had to lean on God. So it's just like, I thank Him for not giving up on me because without Him, none of this would be possible.
So you said you came home in 2015. How do you feel like you know your time away? What do you feel like that did for you mentally? Like did it like kind of shape your way of thinking at all, if in
Man,
any way?
that 30 months probably was the toughest I done did. The 30 months was the toughest. I lost everything from family to relationships to lost myself. It was like, I feel like people left me in there. You know, I did take accountability. I got myself in there. So it was like, I never look for people to do more than what they can for me, but You know, it just kind of hurt seeing the people that you love say they love you and just they're not there for you.
Was there any point when you were in there where you realized, okay, like I can't, go down this road anymore, or I can't, be involved in anything like this again?
I said that, but it's like I went back in. I kept going back, but it was just like I think it took for me when I kept going in to realize that I don't really feel like I learned it the first time. Because the first time it was like it was a lot of anger and emotions when I got out. So it was like I felt like I had to take a lot out on people that didn't do for me. So that came with more charges, more stuff. So it was just like it was a repeated cycle. And it wasn't until I got about 29. No, I wouldn't say 29. I would say about my last bid in 2022. I actually beat the charge, but it was just like I had to look at myself like, it's you. It's not nobody else. It's you. So I had to change the things I was doing in the streets. I had to get out. Where I still could, because God, like I said before, God was my biggest supporter. He was telling me that I had a chance to get out. So I went and took it while I still had a chance. I lost a lot of friends behind it. Lost my best friend behind it. So ever since then, I've just been trying to be different.
So, like, kind of, you know, fortunately you here now, but like earlier in there, it was like footage of you, getting shot at on a doorbell camera. Like, what happened in that situation? If you can talk about it.
Yeah, that situation mainly was like I was at the wrong place, wrong time. I just had to get up out of there before I lost my life. And it was just like me trying to like protect myself. I was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Literally could have lost my life. That was 2 days after Christmas.
How did the situation like affect your outlook on life?
I mean, that was actually the second time I got shot. So it was just like, and then it was like that time it wasn't meant for me, but it was just like, once again, man, God kept me alive. So it was like, it's Him. It's nobody else. It's God. That's the only person that really probably want me out here. That's the only person that really probably want me to succeed is God. You know. So I just took that situation to where as though I'm just glad to still be here, and I'm doing something with my life now.
And also, there was a situation, with you at, Ant Glizzy's birthday party,
Yeah.
Big Homie Mooka.
Yeah.
I know, you know, we're not trying to like start nothing or anything
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that, but like people haven't heard, your side of, what happened. Are you able to like talk about, what happened?
Yeah. Mooka. One thing about Mooka, and he know I tell him this all the time. Whose ass is a clout chaser? Like Mooka be clout chasing, but that night it was one of them nights where as though I was on a house arrest for the whole summer of 24. And it was like, man, Mooka had words back and forth, getting into it. Mooka know me, like he really know me, like he been around me, he know me. So it was just like one of them, like Mooka, who you talking to moments, like so it was just like he was talking slick out of my. I'm like, all right, okay. Everybody know I got this box on my leg. It's gonna be cool. So I get off the box. That's my first time saying Mooka, and I'm just like, Mooka, what's up? He's like, so no, cause I guess him and Aunt little brother Esco had words. So me being right there. Y'all gonna laugh, but to be honest, I reached in my pocket to get my glasses, and Mooka thought I was reaching for a gun. And I'm like, oh, Mooka, what are you talking about? He was like, why your man reaching? I'm like, Mooka, I'm grabbing my Prada glasses. That's what I had on all night, Mooka. I'm not worried about you for real. So that's just that, man. But man, Mooka, we all right now, man. He commented on my post. He told me congratulations, man. He doing this thing, I'm doing mine, man. One thing about me, it's never that serious for me if a person like had a problem with me or because it's like I said before, like I've been out there to know, like if I got a problem with somebody, it's not gonna make the internet. It's gonna be like ongoing. So that's how it is.
Do you feel like the street life and industry life, do you feel like that mixes any way at all, or do you feel like that's always just going to go down a negative road when that gets blended in together?
Nah, I use kind of like what I did in the streets in some of my movies. So it was just like I just take what I been through and put them in my movies. As far as now, I'm civilian, man. I don't really do too much. It's like every time I do something, I go to jail. So it's like it's no point for me to be out there because I know what I'm gonna do and I know how I'm gonna do it, but I don't got time to keep going to jail behind it. So it's just like it's no point.
Do you feel like that message can be kind of like conveyed throughout your films? Is that something you had thought about doing maybe one day, like kind of showing that how that life can end, in the wrong way?
Yeah, I actually want to talk to the youth that's like the troubled youth that's out here, but not more so talk to them. I want the ones that really don't got nobody, cause and it's sad to say this, I had family, but I didn't have family, And that be the worst, I guess, than people who really don't have people, is the people who have the resources, who have a mom, who have siblings and stuff like that, but they don't have them to support. They not there for them. So I want to get through to them kids where as though they feel like, yeah, I got a mother, I probably got a father, I got siblings, but they don't understand me. I was that person that they didn't understand growing up. Even to this day, people still don't understand me. So it's just like, I want to talk to them kids who just feel like they just out here. Tell them they not alone. 'Cause I still feel like that to this day. That I'm just out here. I ain't got nobody for real.
Did you have anybody like that, like how you want to be for the kids? Did you have anybody like that for you growing up, or
I ain't had nobody to run to. I ran to other siblings' houses, relatives' houses. I ran to my grandmother. As far as like male role models, I ain't never had a real male role model in my life. I never had one. I don't know how to be one. I never had one. And I'm a father, so it's like, I don't know how to be a role model. Like, I know some things that I can change to look better to my son. Because all he want to do is be like me, but I'm telling him, like, that's not the way. I ain't had nobody to look up to, so it's like, I got somebody look up to that's looking up to me now, so it's like, it's hard because it's like, how am I going to portray something that I've never seen?
how important is it for like, someone like yourself who didn't necessarily have that example growing up? Obviously, people going, it's kind of like learning as you go. Basically, how important is it for people to know that, like, it's okay, people gonna mess up, but you just as long as you got the right vision to go the right way, you'll be all right.
I'm going to let people know that there is a such thing as second chances, but just try not to make it a second chance. Try to go for everything on that first go. But I want to let you know also that it's life. Life is things that's planned but can be altered. Nothing we do in life was ever planned. It was always altered. So don't ever feel like just because you got charges or just because you don't have no money or just because you just feel by yourself that you can't do it. You can always do it with no help, with nothing. I did it.
So, kind of like touching back on like filmmaking, what's your ultimate goal as a filmmaker?
My ultimate goal as a filmmaker is to have an A-list movie playing in theaters, to be either behind the camera or in the camera, directing it or lead acting in it, because I want to do this for the rest of my life. I got stories to tell, and I want people to hear them, and I want people to see them.
Who are some of your like influences as far as like like film directors or anything?
I would say Will Smith. Kind of like I look up to Will Smith because he do it all. You know, he's a jack of all trades. Spike Lee. You know, Spike Lee be doing this thing. Ice Cube. Like a lot of urban, you know what I'm saying, black directors definitely catch my attention because it's like you wouldn't expect a black man to know how to work these cameras and edit the way they edit and just know things.
What do you feel like are some of your what are some of the films that kind of like gave you inspiration too?
Some of the films that gave me inspiration. I'm a jack of all genres, so I would say probably every Will Smith movie. I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I love Harry Potter. I want to dive into the Marvel universe, you know, one day. And movies like that, you know. I'm versatile. I really like different movies.
So, do you see yourself at all like kind of sticking with a specific genre? Or you like you want to have like a variety, like touch on all type of genres?
In my head, I want to do a variety, but I think I want to bring like real horror films back, like because there's not a lot of real horror films. So I think I would try to be a Wes Craven and try to bring a lot of horror films back, like good horror films.
Do you feel like with your films you always kind of want to represent DC in some kind of way?
Yeah. But I always tell myself I want to be the best from my city, not in my city. And with that being said, I just want to be from my city. I'm going to always rep my city, but it's not where I'm from. I know where I'm trying to go. And it's not here.
What kind of legacy do you want to leave in the film industry?
I want to leave behind a legacy of triumph, of pain, of just understanding. Like, I just want people to understand where I came from, how I did it, and that they can do it too.
What advice would you give to like, up and coming filmmakers that you probably wish you could have gotten yourself?
Study, take time to self-study, you know, and sometimes it's okay to not need people when you're doing something on your own. It's okay to not have support. It's okay to be by yourself. It's okay to learn things on your own. Because at the end of everything, your face is going to be behind your films, and your name is going to be behind your films. As long as you make your name the best thing that ever happens, everybody else can just be behind you.
And obviously, with the advancement of like AI, now more people are kind of just. It's almost like people are kind of getting like a little lazier with it now because you can rely on AI to kind of like put films together for you.
Hmm.
How important do you feel like, as advanced as AI is, do you still feel like the human element in filmmaking is something that can never be replaced, like the
Yes,
human mind?
because humans have different minds than AI. AI, don't get me wrong, is artificial intelligence. They're very smart, but a brain is always better, in my opinion.
So, kind of like you talked about fatherhood earlier. How do you feel like fatherhood has impacted your family life or just your career in general?
Fatherhood has impacted my life in many ways, good and bad. But when I see my oldest son, I see how he looks at me. I see he sees me edit like a lot of the scenes from the movie when he was over. So it's just like when I look at him, I just want to leave everything to him, so as though I never really left anything for my son, for even my kids. So it's like if I can leave all of this, that'll be a blessing because it's something that they can have on for their kids and then their kids. It's like a legacy of entertainment because entertainment is always going to be around no matter how old we get, no matter what's new come out. Entertainment is always going to be entertainment.
How do you separate yourself or separate your personal life and your professional life?
I separate. It's kind of hard. I sit up here right now dealing with personal issues myself, but I never let it dictate who I am. I remember my goal. I remember my mission, and I remember that you're gonna have storms, but you're gonna have sunshines as well.
Is it hard, like, especially like with being on set, like say you were going through something personally, is it hard to like kind of not bring those feelings and emotions on set with you? Or is it easy for you to kind of keep that at home and not bring it to the, set life?
If I have, if I have, it depends on the set life as well. Because if I have a scene that day where though I need to be angry, I will bring some of the emotions I have from whatever I was going through on screen for that scene. If I have a scene where as though I'm just happy, I will bring. It's kind of like being an actor. You can kind of like use some of those emotions rather than hide them. So,
So obviously, 2024 coming to a close.
mhm.
How do you want to like end 2024 and like you got the city coming out in 2025? How do you want to like what do you want to what's in store for you for 2025?
2025 is Trophies Entertainment Year. What I mean by that is after this YouTube series, man, I got nothing but movies for 2025. I got about 4 projects that's going to be in the works come 2025. I'm going to show people really what I do in this filmmaking industry, and I'm coming hard.
Do you see yourself working with like bigger studios, or do you like kind of plan on staying like independent?
I see myself working with bigger studios. I see myself being on bigger sets. I see myself being with the pros and the best come 2025. I'm gonna make sure of that.
What's like one of your like dream project genres that you want to like you like
It's
it's one of those like I got to do a movie like this.
Marvel, man. Just Marvel. I gotta be in a Marvel. If I can be in a Marvel Doomsday or Secret Wars, like that would be a blessing and a dream come true, and I wouldn't look back. I just love Marvel. I love their stories. I love the characters. We all grew up watching superheroes, so it's just like to be in that world, it's like a dream come true.
So if it came down to it, would you rather write, direct, and shoot a Marvel movie or star in one?
That's a tough one. I would star on one.
Okay.
I would say star on one.
Why star in one?
Cause I would want a suit for one. I want a Marvel suit. And I would say I would want to show my versatility in acting. So yeah.
Lastly, is there anything that you want to say, to the fans, the people that supporting you all these years, and throughout your
For the
journey?
people that's been here since day one, and I literally mean day one, from my laughs, from my anger, my pain, my lockups, my breakups, my infidelities, it's the people that supported me no matter what I did or what I done. I just want to say thank you, and I just want to say this is not the end. This is only the beginning. It's only the beginning.
All right, K
Yeah, man.
Grammy. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate for having me, man.